My name is Adi Prakash. I am from Chanakya National University and presently I am an intern in LexTech. In this video, we're going to talk about negligence law of tort. To quote some definitions, according to Winfield and Zolovic, negligence is the breach of a legal duty to take care which results in damage undesired by the defendant to the plaintiff. Lord Wright states that negligence means more than headless or careless conduct, whether in commission or omission. It properly connotes the complex concept of duty, breach, and damage thereby suffered by the person to whom the duty was owed. So, in simple words, negligence is a breach of legal duty where one party owed a certain extent of duty of care to the other party, and in this case, when negligence happens, one party is not able to fulfill their duty, hence causing damage to the other party. Now, what are the essential ingredients for negligence? First, we have duty to take care. It is very important that the person against whom the defendant should have a duty of care in the particular case where there has been a breach of legal duty. In the case of Grant versus Australian Knitting Mills Limited, the case was that from a retailer, the plaintiff bought two woolen underwear, and after using the garment, he got some skin rash because of the excess amount of sulfate in the garment, which was supposed to be removed during the manufacturing of the garment, but due to the negligence of the defendant, they did not remove it, hence resulting into the skin disease, the skin problem of the plaintiff. In this case, it was held that the Australian Knitting Mills Limited had a certain amount of duty to take care that their product did not cause any damage to the other party, and hence they were found liable under negligence. Second ingredient is duty to whom. Now, this duty to take care has been extended by one more step by asking to whom do we owe the duty. So it is said, and it is found in the case of Donoghue versus Stevenson, that you owe a duty of care to your neighbor. Now, Lord Atkins has defined neighbor in these words: the persons who are so closely and directly affected by my act that I ought responsibly to have them in contemplation as being so affected when I am directing my mind to acts or omissions which are called in question. Whoever is in direct consequence of my act is a neighbor, and I hence owe a duty of care to them, which is a very important ingredient for negligence. Now, thirdly, duty must be towards the plaintiff, which is just another step to duty to whom. The plaintiff, the neighbor to whom I owe this duty, should be the plaintiff in the case. Now, breach of duty of care. In this case, if the plaintiff has the onus to prove that defendant actually was unable to fulfill the duty of care and hence give evidence for the claim. Now, in the case of Municipal Corporation of Delhi versus Shubhagwati, a number of persons died due to the collapsing of a clock tower in the heart of Chandni Chowk, Delhi. And the normal life of this kind of an infrastructure is 40 to 45 years, but this building was 80 years old, and the municipal corporation took no care and put out no notification of the fact that this building might be dangerous and did not take the due care that they owed to the people, and hence it was found that they were liable for a breach of duty of care to take care of the fact that it was their responsibility to look after the building, which eventually led to a huge amount of damage. Now, what is the difference between criminal negligence and civil negligence? When we talk about criminal negligence, we see that the important ingredient in criminal negligence is that a person is liable for criminal negligence if they have diverted from the degree of act which a reasonable person ought to do, a reasonable person would do, and they are expected to, if they are liable under criminal negligence, they do something that is so rash and so unreasonably careless that they cause some kind of damage. But instead, in civil negligence, any kind of breach of a normal duty only can amount to civil negligence. For example, if a person is drunk driving, which leads to death of a person or some kind of accident, that means that that shows that they acted so rashly and so carelessly, which ended up in taking a person's life or causing somebody damage. So that comes under criminal negligence. But if in the case where a servant after mopping a floor does not put the wet floor sign, and if that eventually leads to some kind of mishap to somebody else, that amounts to civil negligence. Now the punishment for civil negligence and criminal negligence is different. Under criminal negligence, if we get the punishments of imprisonment, fine and probation, whereas in civil negligence we get damages of compensation, compensation for any damage that has been caused. Now in civil negligence, there is a lesser burden on the plaintiff to prove that the defendant has been a part of a breach of his duty to take care, whereas in criminal negligence the plaintiff has to prove beyond a reasonable sense of doubt to the court that the accused has acted extremely rashly, and which is the highest amount of evidence that you need to prove in a court. So to prove a person has acted extremely rashly and carelessly, they have a higher burden of proof. And for further information, you can read up the cases that I just mentioned in the video, and you can read up sections of negligence in IPC 1860 for criminal negligence. Thank you.